For the longest time, AI was something that lived on our screens, right? It was in our computers, our phones, helping write emails, creating images. But that's all changing. A huge shift is happening right now. AI is breaking out of the digital world and stepping into the physical one, taking the controls of the very systems that run our modern lives.
I am not talking about small stuff. We're talking about the tech that runs power plants, that manages water treatment facilities, that controls the traffic lights in your city. The critical infrastructure that we all depend on. So when this slide asks, are we ready? Well, that's not some far-off philosophical question. It's the challenge staring us right in the face today.
And because the stakes are so incredibly high, the world's biggest security and intelligence agencies, we're talking the NSA and the FBI in the US, they've all come together to basically write a new rulebook.
And get this, it's not just an American thing. This is a global team-up. We've got agencies from the UK, Australia, Canada, Germany, you name it. They all got together and co-wrote one single unified guide. And that's what we're going to break down today. What does it actually say?
So, first question, why? Why is this all happening right now? What's the big rush to hand over the keys of our physical world to an AI?
To really get this, we need to talk about a specific kind of tech called operational technology, or just OT. Now, this is not the software on your laptop. OT is the tech that actually does things. It's what physically opens a valve, what flips a massive switch, what controls a robotic arm on a factory floor. It makes things happen in the real world.
Think about it this way. For decades, all the focus has been on securing IT, information technology. The world of data. If IT fails, maybe you lose some files. It's bad, but you move on. But with OT, if OT fails, a dam could open when it shouldn't. A power grid could just shut down. We've jumped from protecting the world of bits and bytes to protecting the world of actual atoms. So why on earth would we take a risk like that? Well, because the potential payoff is absolutely huge. AI promises to make all these critical systems way smarter, way more efficient. It could predict when a generator is about to fail before it happens, or perfectly optimize the flow of energy across an entire city, and do it all faster than any team of humans ever could.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, with all this new power comes a whole new class of dangers. And these are not the cybersecurity threats we're used to fighting. This is something else.
Okay, this part is so important. We have to understand these weird new AI risks. First up, something called model drift. Imagine an AI managing a city's water pressure. It's working great, but then there's an unusually dry summer, and slowly its performance gets worse. It starts making small, bad decisions because the real world has drifted away from the data it was trained on. Kind of spooky, right? Then there's lack of explainability. The AI shuts down a power substation, and when the human operators ask why, it can't tell them. It just did it. Was it a real threat? A bug? No one knows. And finally, my favorite, hallucination. The AI could report that a chemical tank's temperature is totally stable, when in reality it's overheating. Why? Because the AI literally just invented data that isn't there. And all of this points to one of the biggest human risks. If we just let the AI do everything, what happens when it breaks? Well, the human operators, they get rusty. They forget how to run the system manually. Suddenly, you've created a single catastrophic point of failure.
I mean, a system that can't explain its own actions, and an operator who's forgotten how to take over, that's a recipe for disaster. So how do we stop it? Well, this joint guidance lays out a really clear plan, and it all starts with the prep work, what you absolutely have to do before an AI ever gets near the control.
The entire international framework, all this complex guidance, is actually built around just 4 core principles. 4 simple ideas. The first 2 are basically the do your homework steps. Step 1 is simple. Understand what you're dealing with. This isn't just another software update. You have to get these unique AI risks and train your people on them. Step 2 is justification. You don't plug in an AI just because it's the cool new thing. You have to prove there's a real solid need for it, and that you have a bulletproof plan to protect the data it uses.
But hey, putting the AI to work, that's just the start line. The real challenge, and the focus of the second half of this plan, is how you manage it day in and day out, forever.
So that brings us to principles 3 and 4. You have to govern the system. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it technology. It needs constant testing, constant oversight, so you can catch that model drift before it causes a real problem. And finally, number 4, you must build in fail-safes. That means a human is always watching, and there are clear, tested ways to hit the brakes and let a person take over if anything looks even slightly wrong.
Honestly, if you take just one thing away from this entire global plan, let it be this. The ultimate failsafe isn't a better algorithm, it's a trained, empowered human being. Technology is an incredible tool, but it should never ever replace human accountability. A person has to have the final say, always.
Okay, so let's zoom out. What does all of this highly technical guidance really mean for our daily lives and for our future?
Here it is, the bottom line. AI is already here, managing the systems that we all depend on. This shift creates weird new risks, like an AI that hallucinates a safety reading. But here's the good news. A global plan from the world's top experts exists to get this right. And at the very heart of that plan is one simple, non-negotiable rule. Humans must stay in the driver's seat.
Which leaves us with a really critical question for the future. We have a plan for the AI of today, but as these systems get exponentially more powerful, more autonomous, how do we make sure we design our worlds in a way that guarantees a human being always has the final say? What does that even look like? That's the challenge ahead of us all.